different walks of life, get their experience. If there are anything that has been useful in other countries, that will be extremely useful in Nepal too, especially from the developing countries. Some kind of networking and the help to Nepal from American organizations and American society as well as the individuals. I think we had a program in Chicago, and then there was a billionaire family giving us some lunch and dinner, and then one of them, she was in Nepal, stayed for 1 year. She brings Nepali people, helps them, and then I think whatever happens in Nepal, she's in the internet and she'll find it out. Oh, your prime minister resigned very recently. So I think these are some of the people. I think we can find numerous of these type of people in the US, and then probably we need to mobilize them. We are also trying in Washington DC to make a caucus of the congressmen in Washington DC so that they can not only help Nepal in institutionalizing and in strengthening the democracy, but also help Nepali American or the Nepalese staying in US because you are the voters for them and they value you so much. So I think hopefully that will be done in September, October this year. And then I think that will be a very good beginning to have the linkage with the political level of the Nepalese community staying here in the United States. And then we are doing a number of other things, and then we'll let you know in future. Anyway, thank you so much for inviting me to participate in this very important seminar. Thank you so much.
And I'm happy that one of the advocates from Nepal is here. And I'm sure she's going to talk about what is happening in Nepal. But let me just give one example, and it will reveal the whole situation of Dalit and Dalit women in Nepal. When I was growing up, I always saw injustice and discrimination against, Dalit and Dalit women. There was a particular one woman who changed my life. She's the one who brought me in this field. Her name is Jelly. I changed the name. When her husband came home after gambling and drinking and beat her and her 4 children every day, and I asked my parents to give her shelter. And I always proud to say that my father we never experienced gender discrimination at my home because of my father is very unique. And he did not mind to bring that woman in my home and give her shelter. Because in isolated and poor place like us, Ujeli has nowhere to go. She could not go to police enforcer because
he may have graduated by this time, I don't know. But it's been a wonderful experience. So pick up this brochure if you want to learn more about us. So we did these oddball things for many years, and we still do, until one day I was in Target, the department store, and I was buying things for 2 girls in Nepal. Summer night clothes and t-shirts and stuff. And I thought I'd better sweeten up this by giving them some books to read. And there on the shelf of Target is this book. So I grab it. I didn't really know what it was. I thought, oh, here's an Asian child, South Asian child. Well, I got home, I opened the book, and basically I read it through from start to finish with plenty of Kleenex by my side. Because it's the story of Lakshmi, and she's a girl who was sold by her very neglectful, that's a nice word, stepfather. And she wound up in a brothel in Calcutta for 1 year. Luckily, the way Patty McCormick wrote the book, she does get rescued. But it's fiction, and some girls do get rescued. But the book is so compelling that we decided to go on a crusade. What was our crusade? To get the money and the wherewithal to turn that book into a Nepali language book. Here it is, I have it. And my dear friend, you brought them all the way from Nepal. Mandira brought them all the way from Nepal. She brought me 16 copies of the 2,500 that were printed. This was my baby. We were talking about gender stuff. Well, I was pregnant with this book for 3 years. And it was delivered yesterday. Okay, what is the value of this book? To me, it will be the centerpiece of a very large educational campaign to turn child trafficking into a national conversation. I know that you want to talk about other things in the national conversation about gender violence, but this is the ultimate of gender violence, selling your daughter. I want to ask you 2 questions. How many in this room who are Nepali can relate to some village area as part of your generations of your family? Raise your hand if you know. Okay. In some of those villages, they're selling little girls. Now, I don't know if it's in your village or not, but if your village is in one of 26 of Nepal's 75 districts, some child is being vulnerable to a dangerous migration. That child may not believe that she's going to work as a prostitute, for God's sake. She doesn't even know about sex yet. She may think she's going to the home of a wealthy Indian family and she's going to spend her days dusting the beautiful ornaments in the house and braiding the hair of the girls before they go to school. But in many cases, that will not be her fate at all. She will wind up the way this Lakshmi wound up. And so we changed the picture on the cover. We had a vote of a group of people at one of our conferences, and we said, does she look Nepali? And people said, no, she doesn't. So we decided, a friend of ours is a wonderful artist, she's a Tonka painter, and we said, make us 5 or 6 pictures that you think should go on the cover of the book. She knew all about it by this time because she trekked around with us. So she drew this girl. What do you think of this girl? She's good? Okay, I'm gonna email Lakshmi and tell her that you like it. And it was the vote of the men and women in our conference that chose this out of about 6 others. Now, if you would like your own copy, I have 2 extra, and later we're going to circulate some raffle tickets, and they're $1 a ticket. And for the 2 people that win the raffle tickets, you'll get a pair. You'll get both. And believe me, any of you that do any teaching, this is a pretty interesting thing to compare and see what American kids think about it. I conducted a class at Lincoln